Hey, what's up, YouTube people? So today, I was having issues with my protein skimmer. Well, actually, not just today. It's been going on for about, let's say, almost 2 months. So, just like anybody else, wanted to buy the best there is, pretty much. So, this is the Vertex Alpha 200. Got it on this new setup. It's 210 main display, 65-gallon sump trigger system. But the issue was this skimmer wasn't really producing anything, and for the high price point you expect to have some good results, and that really wasn't happening. So of course I started jacking around with everything, still is not working. Turns out that there's a number of different things that were making it not skim right. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of tips on if you're having the same problems like I did, your skimmer not skimming right, you know, overflowing all the time, whatever. Maybe you can avoid some of the mishaps that I went through. So one of the first things that I fixed on this, on my past tanks I used to run an air line from, you know, your air intake, just a long tube out the window, so I was drawing in fresh air. And the problem with that is the longer the tube means it's harder to draw air through the same size diameter line. And just like anybody else knows, you plug up that hole, your skimmer overflows. And the problem I was having was I was having the overflows. I could just back it down enough to where my bubbles would come about to right here, and that's as low as they would go. So that wasn't working at all. And so that was the problem. I had cut the line off, X that out, so it has the factory setup like it's supposed to have. I'm a guy that likes to play with stuff, so that was my fault entirely, but whatever. And now fix that, and now I can get the bubbles all the way down to here, and I can play with them back and forth. So I got them up normal height, whatever, and it still wasn't working right. So I called the Vertex Tech, and the dude told me, he asked me where my intake for the pump was, and I had the whole skimmer body turned, and I had the intake under this little window here, right where my returns come in. I'll see all this bubbles and whatever else splashing around. And I guess that's not the right spot to have your intake. You need a kind of nice calm area in your sump where it can just draw water in, you know, without the bubbles and the turbulence, and make your skimmer run a lot better. So I did that, turned it, and then on these Vertex, on the pump valve, you can't see it, the intake, there's a little PVC turn dial. And what that does, it allows more air into the water, so you get higher foam, you know, more bubbles. So what I did on mine is I opened it up almost 6 turns, so I got a bunch of air in there. And now doing that, this has been maybe like an hour after I did all these changes, and I'm already started to pull out some stuff. And once I did all the changes, I dialed the tube to where the bubbles were like the main super small bubbles were joining into larger bubbles about right here. That's where the tech at Vertex he told me to put them. Some people put them there, but that's your own personal preference. You want wet skim, dry skim, you can vary the heights. So I did that, and this thing's working good so far. Really can't see it, but it's pulling all kinds of stuff out already. And I hear these guys, you got to make one change, make a change to the skimmer and wait 3 months. I ain't gonna do that. That's just not practical to me. let alone, I'm sure, I don't know. I'm sure most of you guys can agree with that. But that was some of the main things that, you know, I thought I was all seasoned reefer, whatever, knew what I was doing. And I started just, you know, making these small little changes made a huge difference. And I don't know it all. That's just the way you shouldn't be. You can always learn something. But let me show you a better view. See, I was never getting that froth the way I had it set up. And of course, with your skimmer not working right, what else problems are you gonna have? Nitrate, phosphate. Then my tank started suffering. Get the cyano. Oh, here comes the slime algae. So it's never fun. But if you guys got any other tips on the skimmer stuff, I think we need to really make a lot of videos on how to really dial these things in so we can have some badass tanks. Because this is #1 filter in your tank. #1. Everybody likes awesome looking tanks. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully this helps somebody. I know it helped me. Yeah, let's get back to the basics, try to figure it out. Peace.